I'm Ashley Diana, and I am so honored to have Sarah Prout with us today. Sarah is the author of Dear Universe, which I have right here with me. It is so beautiful and so magical. And Sarah is a manifestation expert. So thank you for being here. I'm so happy.
Thank you for having this conversation with me, Ashley. It's great to connect.
Oh, I love it. I'm so happy. I have been following you for a while on social media, and I'm obsessed with your podcast.
Thank you.
And your meditations. I just think they're incredible, and they make me feel so good. And there's every time I share what you do on my Instagram stories or on my Instagram post, people just go nuts. They love it because it really connects with people on like a soul level, and I think it really gives people. I think it gives people what they need today, which is like hope and fulfillment and excitement in their lives. So today we're going to talk about manifesting. So whether you are asking what the heck is manifesting, or you are have been practicing manifesting for a long time, we're going to talk about some really cool things today to, I would say, improve the well-being of your whole life. So Sarah, let's start off. What is manifesting, and has it been around for a long time, or is this a new kind of thing?
It's not new.
It's not new. Okay.
No, it's been around for a very long time. Just like electricity's been around for a long time, because the way that manifesting works is that it is a universal law that works with the law of attraction. You've probably heard that before. Many people have watched The Secret or read books about thoughts becoming things.
Right.
But my work's a little bit different because I teach people that their emotions are what manifests. So however you're feeling in any given moment is an opportunity to guide your energy to a space of what you're in the process of manifesting. So there's two types of manifesting. It's either intentional or subconscious. So it's unintentional.
Right. And that's something I was talking with a friend about recently. And we were talking about how whether you believe it or not, you are manifesting. Or whether you know what you're doing or not, you are manifesting. Would you say that that's true? Or how would you describe that?
Well, a lot of people write to me and they say, Sarah, I can't manifest anything. You know, I've tried to win the lottery, or I've tried to manifest my soulmate, and it's just not happening. I can't manifest. And what I remind them of is that we are always manifesting, that each and every moment is a manifestation. So the next breath that we're going to breathe in to keep us alive is a manifestation. Blinking our eyelids is a manifestation. So it's just the awareness that you bring to that, and then how you ultimately guide your energy as to what manifests. So you may have heard before, like people commenting on vibes, like, oh, I got a bad vibe about that person, or a good vibe. That is clues from your higher self through your intuition about what's in the process of unfolding into your reality.
That's amazing, because you're right. We say that all the time. I said that earlier today. I said about a situation. I said, well, I kind of had
a bad vibe.
It felt weird. It felt kind of weird. I don't know how I feel about that. And you actually said, go with that. Like that stand strong in that and be confident, because that is not, it's not coming from just out of the blue. I mean, it's true. I
mean, we're all born with these intuitive faculties, and so many of us don't learn how to lean in and listen to what our inner guidance and our wisdom is showing us along our path. And we forget that we have this beautiful ability to create our own reality. And so when we remember that, and we don't always remember, because there's sometimes where we're like, you know, stuck with looking after children or paying bills or that kind of stuff, that we don't remember our own intuitive guidance and learning to listen to the whispers of the universe.
That's interesting. Would you say that sometimes that people block things, like intentionally or unintentionally, to
Yeah, I'd say there's a lot of self-sabotage.
Yes.
And we were talking about this before with confidence and how that impacts worthiness and the ability to receive that love or that abundance or that job opportunity or whatever it is. So sometimes we definitely get in our own way.
Yeah, I agree with that. How would you say for someone that could start manifesting? What tips would you give them? I mean, it's probably a lot.
It's exciting.
Right?
Like when you first discover this stuff, it's like, oh my God, how have I been living the rest of my life not being aware that I get to be on this adventure? I get to choose how I want to feel, how I want to manifest.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So the first tip that I would give somebody is to become curious about whatever they're feeling in any given moment. And to not reject it if it's negative, because in the personal development industry, it's always swept under the rug. It's always swept to the side. You're negative, you're not allowed to feel it, that will interrupt your manifesting. However, if you allow yourself to have that moment to feel those feelings, you can actually process them faster and then you'll move through that in your
Right.
experience.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah.
When did you start experimenting, maybe is what I'm saying, I don't know, with manifesting? Maybe like a little bit of your backstory with how it
Sure.
developed in your life and where you are now.
Sure. Well, as a little kid, I was always interested in manifesting, the law of attraction. My mum was a tarot reader. She did tarot
Really?
cards and
Oh my
psychic
gosh.
readings. And so I was always really intrigued about how people create their own reality, or that mystical side of life. And I
Okay.
love that. But then I ended up in an abusive relationship for 10 years. And when I left that, I left with nothing. I had 2 suitcases, 2 children, and over $30,000 worth of debt. So my interest in manifesting really came from necessity and thinking, okay, well, how am I going to provide for my kids? I need to get creative. And so I learned how to connect with the universe, to ask for what I want, and then guide my energy in the direction of what was manifesting.
That's amazing. Did you have a mentor? Or did you come across a book, or how did
Oh
that
my gosh.
start?
I've
to
had
be
so
like, 'cause I
many.
feel like sometimes, especially when we have, even if we've been exposed to something like that before,
Yeah.
to that kind of magic of the universe or to God or these types of things, like life can get really heavy, and sometimes you forget
Yeah.
about all that intuition and magic inside of you. So how did you kind of bring that back, or
That's a great
do
question.
you remember?
I do and I don't.
Yeah.
So there's certain moments that I have where I can remember, okay, this was a moment, a dear universe moment, where I'm calling out to a higher power saying, help me. I don't want to go through this anymore.
Yeah.
And I remember one New Year's Eve, I was just so lonely. I'd had enough. And my first husband had gone to bed in a bad mood. And, you know, like around the area, they were having parties, and I could hear other people dancing and popping bottles of champagne and having fun. And I just felt so isolated and alone. And I remember in that moment, I pleaded with the universe, take the pain away. I never want to feel like this ever again. Show me an inspired idea. And it was handing over that energy and feeling so powerless that I decided that I need to do something about this. And I think there's a huge empowerment element to manifesting, because you have this awareness and this realization that you get to create your own reality on your own terms. And that's where it's like life happening to you instead of through you and for you. There's a big difference. So many people are victim to their circumstances. They're victim to not having enough money, or their scarcity mindset, or not manifesting the right clients, instead of switching it the other way and looking for things to be grateful for, or the areas that they've been blessed rather than stressed.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
that. Now, did you know it was manifesting at the time? Like the word? Because
The word,
The-
yes, I did.
Okay,
Yeah,
great.
I did know that, but there were times where it was just on autopilot. It's like, okay, you have to survive. Let's say we need to manifest this amount of money by this date to feed the children, to pay the bills.
Like I
to-
need this. This
I
has
need
to
this.
happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think one of the key points is to get very clear about what you want.
Right.
But here's the mistake that most people make, and that is that they get so fixated on the external appearance of that. So you may have heard many people making vision boards, and
Right.
I've made them myself, and it's great. It's really fun.
Yeah.
But there's a big difference between, let's say, putting a Ferrari or a Tesla on a vision board versus how you feel about that element on your vision board. So that's where the feeling element comes in. Rather than thoughts becoming things, your feelings are what manifests.
Okay.
And you can feel it now. I mean, there's
Right.
no difference. I mean, we get so wrapped up in the construct of time that it becomes, you know, a hindrance.
Absolutely. So let's say if someone put a Ferrari on their vision board, and maybe they don't. What would be the difference? I guess because they put it on there,
Yeah.
and maybe they're not feeling about it. They just go, "I want that." And then the other way would be, what would that bring? It's bringing joy. They would feel joyful.
Yeah.
Like having that on there.
Yeah. So
And
the difference is the curiosity that is brought up when you are setting the intention.
Okay.
So if it's from very surface level pursuit, it's likely not going to manifest, because you're always thinking in your mind, it's not going to happen. And you're always looking for evidence from the universe that it's showing up, and
Right.
you're looking for signs of alignment and all that kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. So some people, when they hear the word manifesting, they think, oh, that's woo-woo, like that doesn't work. It's just crazy stuff or whatever. But what I love about you is that you're a very practical and relatable manifestation teacher. People connect with you, and shit actually happens. Like
you.
things,
Yeah.
things like they work out. I have seen, other books and other manifestation, experts that I actually do feel like it is a little bit too woo-woo, and that's just the truth. But like you can really relate to to people, and you can teach this in a way that connects with people that actually works. And
Thank you.
yeah, so why don't, like, tell us about that. Like, how
Sure.
can you've like brought it down to earth in a way that people can understand and make things happen.
I think people definitely tend to overcomplicate the process,
Okay.
for sure. So they get very much in their heads about it. They get fixated and obsessed about what they want to create and ultimately sabotage themselves rather than just going with the flow, not focusing on it so much,
Okay.
and just getting out of the self-sabotaging thoughts that a lot of people think, like, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, I'm not ready. I'm not ready is a huge one.
Really?
Yeah, and with the thousands upon thousands of people I've worked with, the I'm not ready is the one thing that holds them back. So they're not ready if they win the lottery. They're not ready if they manifest the soulmate.
Right.
So that's the question to ask yourself. If you got what you're dreaming of right now, could you receive it? So the job in the manifestation process is to prepare yourself.
I like that.
To feather the nest, to get ready to receive what it is that you truly want that's sustainable. Because lottery winners lose all of their winnings within the first 5 years because they don't know what to do with this money.
They weren't
And
ready.
They weren't. And consciousness expands gradually over time. So the more we can pay attention to how we're feeling, how we are interacting with other people, and the spiritual lessons that come up, the more we can see that it's a journey, it's forming a picture, and that what we're currently experiencing isn't going to be forever. It's a season. Life is seasonal.
Right.
So I get many of my students saying, oh, I feel like I'm stuck, Sarah. I feel like I'm blocked. I feel like I'm trying everything and nothing's working. And I tell them, go and watch a show on Netflix. Go and binge watch a series. Because what they're doing is they're switching their focus and their energy on something else. Because the entire universe is based on resistance and flow. So what that means is that the self-sabotaging thoughts of resistance, the doubts, the fear, the anxiety, that's resistance. But the flow is just allowing it to be.
Right.
So there's like a really fine, subtle line between the two.
You mentioned having 4 steps to manifesting, or
Yep.
talk about that with us.
Okay, so the 4 steps to intentional manifesting.
Okay.
So this is not like understanding that manifesting is on autopilot and you're always creating, you're
Okay.
always drawing things in and attracting things into your reality. So intentional manifesting is getting very clear about what it is that you want. And then so writing out an intention setting list of how you want to feel. What is the time frame that you'd like this to show up in? What are the elements of the person you're trying to attract? How do they make you feel? And getting very specific. One activity I love to teach my students is if they want to manifest a home, imagine getting home at nighttime and there's flowers on the countertop in the kitchen. How do you feel when you're about to cook your meal? Like the fully immersive, visceral experience of getting into that. So that's number 1. Number 2 is understanding that you're on a spiritual journey and that you're never going to get it right. That you are going to screw up. You will not always feel amazing. It's not happy, happy, joy, joy, rainbows and unicorns. That the spiritual journey is in the suffering. Because what I found is that my most empowering time was when I was the most disadvantaged, when I didn't have any money to feed my kids, when I had to wash my clothes in the bathtub by hand. I felt so free and grateful. It felt like a rite of passage. So seeing an obstacle as an opportunity to grow and expand spiritually, that the universe is sending these lessons your way to make you stronger, is really important. And then number 3 is surrendering, completely surrendering to what is and being okay and comfortable with uncertainty. Now that's easier said than done because that's terrifying to a lot of people.
Right.
We're all control freaks, so we want to know what's going on and what the next thing is that's going to knock on the door. We want to know, but we don't have any control over that. And so the more controlling you are, you'll notice that the more life rises up to challenge you and to test those boundaries. And so that's always like the universe having a wicked sense of humor. Like you'll often notice like the most difficult people are presented with the challenges the most often. And then, I mean, there are so many steps, but just the 4 main ones are then connecting with the universe. That's the 4th step, that we are all part of this beautiful energy that animates all that is, and that there is no separation between us and the universe. And we can work with that energy to strengthen our intuition. We can strengthen our connection and our relationship to other people. And we know we're not alone because we're part of this bigger framework.
Right. I love that. That's so amazing. Thank you. Now, I've heard people say, and I've even said it before too, like, can you sit around all day and not take action, but manifest money into your life?
Yes.
Okay.
So this is a two-part question.
Talk to us about that.
So there's a difference between not taking any action or taking action and taking inspired action.
Okay.
So that's like the key point of differentiation, that if you feel an intuitive nudge that you need to make that phone call to that person, or you need to buy that book and read that book, or watch that podcast, or whatever it is, listen to that podcast.
Yeah, yes.
It's an inspired action step that can open doors to the next chapter of your life, the next layer of awareness, the next person that you might meet that might facilitate the next 10 years of your life. You just never know. That you need to learn how to tune in and then take action on that.
So there is a bit of a take action to following like your intuition.
Yeah, I mean, some things happen easily
Totally.
and effortlessly, and they're just meant to be. And then there are other times that you have to fight a little bit harder to make them manifest. But sometimes the harder you work for those things, the more rewarding they are.
Yeah, the better they feel.
The better they feel.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Now, speaking of following your intuition and listening to podcasts, your podcast rocks my socks.
Oh, thank you.
It is so good. So you guys watching, you have to, the Journey to Manifesting podcast with Sarah. It is absolutely amazing. I mean, it's all value. It is just all education, all value, beautiful meditations. You're always going to learn something. If you're feeling guided to download it, then yes, download it. This is your sign. Yes, so do it. How long have you had your podcast?
14 months.
That's great.
Yeah, we just reached over 1 million downloads, which was really fun.
That's incredible.
But the good thing about the podcast is that I'm not on a strict schedule with it.
Yeah.
I just record when I feel inspired to do that, and they're my best episodes.
Right.
Yeah, so it's really about me using my intuition and walking the talk
Yeah.
and proving to people, okay, if I'm having this download and I need to communicate a specific topic, I'm just going to flow with it.
Yeah, I love it. You have an amazing Facebook community, following, upwards of 500,000 followers, close to 1 million. I'm sure it will surpass 1 million very soon. But and you have Facebook communities where you coach every month. What are some of the things that, I guess, like, what are some of the hot topics that people are always looking to manifest in their lives? Are there some like more popular?
Oh yeah, that's a great
things?
question too,
Yeah.
because abundance and money and prosperity and doing it from a place that's sustainable. That's what people want to know.
Okay.
So it's like they've had some tough luck in the past and they want to crack through to that next level. They want to maybe manifest an additional stream of income and they're not sure where to start.
Okay.
Which is like, that's something that I know that so many people have that question. I want to start a business, but I don't know where to start.
But they feel like that desire is inside of
and they're
them
not sure where to find that intuitive match. Like, how do I start? How do you get your boat in the water and you swim up the stream, you know, like it's not difficult. You just have to get started and build that momentum. So that's one of the biggest things. The second thing is love. Most people want to manifest love, true love, a soulmate. And a lot of people have been badly heartbroken, that they've had terrible relationships, whether it's with a narcissist or an abuser or somebody that's just broken their hearts. And they want to learn how to open their heart to receive love again. And then the third one is health and wellness.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. So I listened to one of your podcasts recently, and it was about love, and I loved it, like everything else you do. But it was talking about actually making space for a new partner in your home. So it's like having another coffee mug and having space in your drawers in your home. Like, I love that. Could you give people like a couple little mini tips?
So most people have heard of the law of attraction, but this is the law of vacuum, which is creating space and the universe will fill it.
Okay.
And this is often an active leap of faith. So you create the space for the thing that's coming in from your future to manifest in your current reality. So to manifest love, another coffee mug, making that part of your morning ritual, you're visualizing making coffee or a cup of tea for your loved one for two. Or cleaning out a sock drawer, an underwear drawer or something for your lover to come and use when they stay over or whatever. And this can be used for anything. It doesn't just have to be for love. I remember I had a special little box of goodies for when I was wanting to manifest my babies. And every single month I would buy just one little baby thing and put it in the box and trust that one day I would have a healthy baby, because I had 5 miscarriages in a row. And the universe was giving me all signs that I was never going to have another child. I was told I couldn't. It was physically impossible. And I kept believing, and I kept putting those little things aside, whether it was like a little dummy or diapers or booties or something. And it was like my ritual to show the universe, I'm serious about manifesting this kid. It's coming.
Yeah.
And I'm ready for it.
I really think that people do that even if they don't know the word manifesting.
Yeah.
There's often times, I mean, maybe not everyone, but I know of times where I've done things like that. Like I've bought something for my home, but I knew it wouldn't fit in the home that I was in right now.
Yeah.
Like something for like a picture for the wall or and I knew that, well, it's not going to work in this house, but it'll work in like
your new house.
My new house. And,
Bigger and better house.
Yeah. And here I am.
There are a couple of ways that does sabotage though. So for some people that are planning their big wedding, dream wedding, has to be a certain way, the groom has to look a certain way. What they're doing is they're setting up so many rules that the universe is going to rise up and challenge that.
Yeah, that's good.
So it's like, okay, it doesn't work in every situation.
Yeah.
So there's a way to approach it without the obsession, without feeling like it has to show up in a certain way that determines your happiness.
Yes.
Because you're handing your power over.
Right.
And we do that so much and we don't even realize it, especially like with psychics and readings and that kind of thing. If you get a bad reading,
you think your life's over.
It's over, and it's fear-based. And so you just run with that fear. It's allowing other people to manage your future, and that's not okay.
So what about money? Do people ask about how to make more money or how to manifest more money?
All the time.
All the time.
I mean, who wouldn't want more money? I mean,
why not? Yeah.
But here's the thing that really starts to dismantle the beliefs that people hold around money is that it's energy. And that energy is an exchange of consciousness. And that consciousness can sometimes be good, or what people would perceive as good or bad. So the way to attract and draw more money into your life is to love money, because the more you love your money, the more your money will love you back. And so like keeping your purse or your wallet decluttered and tidy is a good way of showing the universe that you are activating that law of vacuum and creating space to attract more. So yeah, exactly. That's just like relationships. If you respect a relationship, it's going to flourish. It's going to thrive.
It's going to give you back. It's going to give more back to you.
Yeah. So what the first step is to love your money, and just hold that awareness in your heart all the time that you have the ability to attract and draw money into your life.
And just believing that you can create it.
Yeah.
It's something that always can be created.
Yes. And sometimes there's a blockage and it may not seem like you have it all figured out and the money will come to you. But if you believe it will, there's always a way. And it starts very small. So when you have that conversation with the universe, you ask the universe, hey universe, dear universe, send money my way. I mean, just super simple. You'll notice that you start finding quarters in the Whole Foods parking lot. Like the universe will start to trickle in the abundance in little ways. And it's really cool because then the more you acknowledge it, the bigger they get.
And you're like, hey, universe, did you just kind of sprinkle a little here next to my car?
So it's so strange because I do these manifesting games on Instagram and
I love them.
Thousands of comments from people.
People are obsessed.
They love it. But I totaled it up and in 14 days, there were over $100,000 that had been manifested from people that had played the game.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, do they write in? Do they comment?
They comment, they tag
direct message,
me.
whatever.
Yeah, so I kept like a little tally of, okay, $100 here. One woman had she won the lottery enough to cover her expenses for the rest of the month. It was a $1,300 one. And it's just like thousands of these people not aware that if they ask the universe might deliver that into their reality, but they'd never thought of asking before.
So you're really opening up people's eyes in their world to just ask.
Just ask.
Just dear universe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dear universe.
Which is let's talk about Dear Universe, which is the most beautiful book I've ever seen.
Thank you.
And if I could have manifested a book, this would have been it. It's gorgeous. So tell us a little bit about Dear Universe and who did you write this for?
I wrote it for the person that may feel like they need to call a friend or somebody that needs a little bit of emotional help in any given moment. So there are 100 fear-based meditations. So you look up how you're feeling, whether it's anxious or depressed or sad or lonely, and then you look up the story and then the Dear Universe meditation to move through it. So it's like a support system for whatever you're feeling. And then on the flip side of that, if you're feeling really good or you want to aim to manifest something really good, there's 100 love-based meditations with really cool words like abundant or blissful or joyful, however you want to feel. And so the same thing, there's a story and then a Dear Universe moment, and you can connect to the guidance of the universe and feel like you are supported. That's what I love about it. It's like having a friend on your coffee table, or beside the bed, or in your purse, or wherever you need it, to go, okay, first step, how am I feeling? Tune into the chapter that's going to help to support your emotions and your emotional journey, and then feel just a little bit better. And if you can feel just a little bit better after reading Dear Universe, I've done my job.
Oh, so cool. Would you recommend people to have this with them?
Yes.
Take this with them.
Take it with them, yes. And give them to your friends
Take
too.
it to work, to have it in the car with you. I mean, anywhere that you can have it. Like if you need to flip open, you can read
If you experience feelings, you need to have a copy of this book.
If you experience feelings, yes. If you have ever felt a feeling, you better grab
book.
Yes, it is in Dear Universe, and you will feel a little bit better, or a lot better after reading this. I'm so happy that we were here today to chat with you about this and to share your wisdom and knowledge. And I'm so happy that you have written this, because I know this is going to be very valuable for me too. So thank you.
Thank you, Ashley.
And what is it that you always say? So be it, so it is.
That's the one.
I love it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.